Hey there, thank you for joining me for today's practice. My name is Paula. So today is a whole body flow that's with a little bit more of a focus on the hips. So it can be done anytime, great for the morning, but also great at the end of the day if you've been doing a lot of sitting as well. If you've got any blocks, then please have them nearby. You might want to use them for a couple of the postures. So make sure you're nice and comfortable, and we're going to start at the top of the mat. So let's come into our Tadasana position. You can have the feet slightly apart or bring them together. Just see what you would prefer today. And just look down to your toes, and let's lift up all 10 toes and then place them back down. Stacking the head right on top of the spine, and then when you're ready, bringing the palms of the hands together in front of the heart, letting the elbows drop down. And then when you're ready, you can close down the eyes. Taking a few moments here in stillness. Feeling the soles of the feet grounding down into your mat. Starting to lengthen up through the entire spine, energy up through the crown of the head. Making the time to be here with yourself, with your practice. When you're ready, let's open up the eyes and release the arms down by your side. You're going to take the arms out to the side, take an inhale, press down through the feet as you reach up through the hands, looking up to the thumbs. And then as you exhale, let's take a forward fold, bend through the knees and fold down through the hips, letting the head relax down. And bend the knees here as much as you need to. You can take the hands a little bit further away, and then let's just take a little pedal out through the knees, so bending one knee and then the other, just allowing the hips to shift side by side. Allow the back of the neck to be relaxed. And then bending into the right knee, and just walk the hands a little bit over towards the left, pressing down through the outer edge of that left foot. Easy breathing. And then bending into that left knee, straightening to the right leg, hands come over to the right. And this time pressing down through the outside of the right foot. And then coming back to center, soften through the knees to take a spine roll to come all the way up to standing. Taking the arms out to the side once again, inhaling, thumbs come together, looking up, and then exhale, forward fold into your Uttanasana once again. Feeling free to bend through the knees as much as you need to here, letting the head relax down. Take an inhale into your halfway lift, hands can come to the shins, crown of the head reaches forward, and then exhale, fold. Bend the knees, step the right foot back, coming down onto the right knee, release the top of the right foot down. You can stay on your fingertips or come down flat onto the hands and just hold it here for a few breaths. Just starting to feel into the front of the right hip, the hip flexor. Slowing down the inhale and slowing down the exhale. As you exhale, you might find a little bit more space to continue to release the hip closer down to the mat. And then taking an inhale, come onto the fingertips, just lengthen the sternum forward, eyes lift. And then as you exhale, start to straighten into this left leg. Now this is somewhere you might want to use one or both of your blocks to come up a little bit higher. So feel free to go for that variation here. Flex that left foot towards the face. Let's take an inhale to lengthen out through both sides of the waist. And then as you exhale, perhaps coming forward if that's available. Try to press the ball of the left foot forward as you draw the left hip crease back. Just find the breath. Try to smooth it out if you can. And then let's bend into this left leg. Tuck the back toes under, plant the hands down, right knee comes off, draw the navel in as you step that left foot back into your plank position, looking towards the top edge of the mat. Take an inhale. Exhale to come down to the knees, shift the hips slightly back, and then dive the chest through the hands, tops of the feet release down. Either your baby cobra or your cobra, squeeze the elbows in, inhaling, and then exhale back through the knees, tuck the toes under, coming into your down facing dog.
Pressing down through the palms of the hands, pressing down through the outer edges of the feet. Steady the gaze in between the ankles. Let's take one more full breath here. Rise up onto the balls of the feet and take this right leg up into your three-legged dog, and then let the hip rotate open. You might be able to lift the leg up a little bit higher and then bend at the knee, trying to reach the right toes towards that left shoulder. At the same time, keep both shoulders square to the mat. That right shoulder will want to open up. And then we're going to start to take some hip circles here. So bringing the knee in and circling out a couple of times. Trying to make some nice large circles. Stay connected to the breathing. And then we'll change the direction of the circle. Keeping the palms of the hands sealed down. Just last one. And then extend back into your three-legged dog. Try to bring the leg back to parallel, inhaling. And then exhale, knee to nose, and step that right foot forward in between the hands. Just coming into your sprinter's lunge. Now again, this is somewhere where you might want to take your hands onto your blocks. So feel free to grab your blocks if you need to. Staying in your sprinter's lunge for a moment, try to press the back of that left thigh up towards the ceiling. Back of the neck is long. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to straighten into this front leg, drawing that right hip back, and then inhale to bend. Reach the left heel back, and then exhale to straighten both legs once again. Inhale to bend, and exhale to straighten. Let's hold this pyramid now, and then option to just drop that left heel down onto the mat, but keep the left toes pointing forward slightly on the diagonal. Feeling free to use your blocks. Take an inhale to lengthen out through the spine, and then as you exhale, start to fold forward if there's some space. Draw that right hip crease back, try to engage the quadriceps. You're thinking about trying to lift the right side of the abdomen away from that right thigh. Rotate onto the ball of the left foot and bend into that right leg. Fingertips come forward and step forward into Uttanasana. Let the head relax down. Press down through the feet, come up to standing, inhaling. Palms and hands come together. Exhale back, Tadasana. Let's go again. Let's take an inhale, reach the arms up, palms and hands come together. Exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana, feeling free to bend the knees as much as you need to. Take an inhale into your halfway lift, and then exhale, fold. Bend the knees, step the left leg back, come down onto the left knee, release the top of the left foot down. Feeling free to bring the palms flat if that's available, otherwise staying in your fingertips or maybe even up on your blocks. Find the breath. Just feeling into this left hip flexor now. Just using your breath. And so on the exhale, noticing if there's any space. So release it a little bit further down to the mat. And then let's take an inhale, come onto the fingertips, reach the sternum forward, and then exhale to straighten into this right leg, flex the right foot towards the face. And remember to use your blocks if you would like to. Otherwise, let's just take another inhale to lengthen out through both sides of the waist. And then as you exhale, taking the hands a little bit further forward. Trying to draw that right hip crease back. Pressing the inner edge of that right foot forward. One more full breath. And then let's bend into this right leg. Tuck the back toes under, lift the knee off. Draw the navel in to take this right leg back into your plank position. Press the mat away, inhaling. Exhale, knees come down. Shift the hips slightly back and then dive the chest in between the hands. Release the tops of the feet down. Squeeze the elbows in, coming into your cobra. And then on the next exhale, bending the knees. Tuck the toes under to press back into down facing dog. Let's take 3 full breaths here. Rise up onto the balls of feet. Take the left leg up to your 3-legged dog. Let the hip open out, but square off the shoulders, bending into that left leg, thinking about the left toes reaching towards the right shoulder. And then let's take these hip circles once again. Just taking the knee in one direction. Staying connected to the breathing. And then let's change the direction. Try to keep the weight even into both arms. And then the last one, extending back into your 3-legged dog. Try to parallel the leg. Inhale, exhale, knee to chest and step it forward in between the hands, coming into your sprinter's lunge. Onto the fingertips here for a moment. Press the back of the right thigh up towards the ceiling. Taking an inhale. As you exhale, start to straighten into the front leg. Draw the left hip crease back. And then inhale to bend, reach the right heel back. And then exhale to straighten. Inhale to bend. And exhale to straighten. Now feeling free to use your blocks. If you've got the space, place that right heel down. Right toes continue to point forward on that diagonal. Take another inhale to lengthen out through the waist. And then exhale, folding down to where you can. Just to hold for a few breaths. Thinking about that left side of the abdomen, trying to lift away from that left thigh. Engage the quadriceps. Keep breathing. Rotate onto the ball of the right foot, bend into the left leg, bring the hands a little bit further forward, and then stepping forward into your Uttanasana. Let the head relax down. Press down through the feet to bring the arms back up. Inhaling, and then exhale back into Tadasana. Bring the feet together side by side. And then we're going to bring this right ankle on top of the left thigh. Palms of hands come together into your prayer. And then start to sit down into your chair. Eyes looking a couple of meters in front of you. Steady the gaze. Keeping that right foot flexed. Find the breath. One more full breath. And then let's come back up to standing. Place that right foot down. And let's go to the other side. Bringing that left ankle on top of the right thigh. And then starting to sit down into your chair. Thinking about the left knee dropping down towards the ground without letting that left hip drop down. Maybe bending down a little bit deeper. One more full breath. And then let's release. Standing down to that left foot, release the arms down. Take an inhale, arms come up, looking to the thumbs. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, step back into down facing dog. Rise up onto the balls of feet. Take the right leg up into your 3-legged dog. Open out through the hip and then bend through the knees. And we're going to step that right foot forward to the outside of the right hand. So just coming into your lizard. Press the back of the left thigh up. Lift the navel away from the mat. Just for a few breaths, let's keep that back knee off. Taking one more inhale. As you exhale, dropping down to that left knee and releasing the top of the left foot down. Shoulder heads drawing back.
Long, smooth breaths. And if it feels available and you would like to come down onto your forearms, then feeling really free to come down here, but also completely fine to stay on your hands. Just 2 more full breaths. Hugging that right knee in towards the right shoulder. At the same time, that left hip, front of the left hip, dropping down to the mat. Now we're going to start to transition into our half pigeon. So come back up onto the hands if you're on your forearms, and then start to heel toe this right leg across the mat. Now, feeling really free to bring that right heel in towards the groin. If there's space, you might keep it a little bit further forward. That left foot staying right behind you. Maybe bringing the hands a little bit closer to your hips. Take an inhale to lengthen up through both sides of the waist. And then as you exhale, starting to come forward into your half pigeon. Feeling free to stack one hand on top of the other, rest the head down, or even just grab your block, rest your head down on your block. Slowing down your breathing. And then let's start to walk the hands back up. Tuck the back toes under. Just take your own time. Make your way back into down facing dog. Taking one more breath here in your down dog. Staying for the exhale. Rising up onto the balls of feet. Take that left leg up into your 3-legged dog, letting the hip open out, and then bend the knee to circle that left hip, stepping the left foot to the outside of the left hand, finding your lizard with the back knee off for a few breaths. Trying to press the back of the right thigh up towards the ceiling, lifting the front of the body away from the mat. Sternum's reaching forward. Taking an inhale. As you exhale, dropping down to that right knee, releasing the top of the right foot down. This little gentle hug of the inner left thigh towards the left arm. Just not letting it just collapse open here. At the same time, just noticing if there's any space to allow that right hip to drop down to the mat. You might come down to the forearms, feeling free to go for that variation. Softening through the jaw. And if you're down on your forearms, making your way back up onto your hands, and then let's start to transition into our half pigeon. So heel toe this left foot across, maybe bringing that left heel a little bit closer in towards the groin, making sure this right foot is right behind you. Option to walk the hands back a little bit to take an inhale to lengthen up through both sides of the waist, and then as you exhale, coming down. Resting the head down onto your block, onto your hands. Thinking about drawing that left hip crease back. Trying to resist the temptation to just collapse over onto that left side. Using your breathing here. And then let's come back up, walk your hands up. And this time let's just come over onto that left hip. Swing this right leg forward and make your way down onto your back. Feet flat onto the mat. Let's take a couple of moments just allowing the back body to rest down onto the mat. And then taking this right leg up towards the ceiling, flexing through the right foot. And what we want to do is start to keep everything else down on the mat, but we're going to take the leg just slightly across the midline of the body. So you might just hold on to the outside of the leg, outside of the ankle, if it's available, holding on to the outside of that, the blade of the right foot. Take the right arm out to the side, palm down. And think about the back of the right pelvis pressing back down as you try to take the foot across the midline of the body. So really targeting the outside of this right leg. Find the breath. Just one more full breath like this. And then keep holding on to the leg or the foot, and then lift the hips up and take it slightly over towards the right. And then let's continue with the twist, letting that right leg come over to where you can. If you need to bend into this right leg, then feel free to go for that. If it's available, you might be able to reach down and take a bind with the top of the left foot with your right hand. And then looking over the right shoulder, feeling free to close down the eyes. Keeping the breath open. And then gently releasing the bind, releasing the legs, coming back to center. Just take a moment. Let's extend both legs long. Closing down the eyes. And then let's bend into the knees again, and we'll go to the other side. So taking this left leg up towards the ceiling, using your right hand on the outside of the leg, outside of the shin, ankle, or blade of the left foot, outside blade of the left foot, left arm out to the side, palm facing down. And then we're just starting to take the foot across the midline of the body. And you're thinking about the midline being where your spine is. And we're just taking it across. At the same time, keep drawing the back of the left side of the pelvis down onto the mat. Try to relax both shoulder blades back down to the mat. Take one more full breath here. And then press down to the right foot to lift the hips slightly up and over to the left, and then we're going to continue with the twist. So letting that left foot come over, bending that left knee if you need to, and maybe for some, reaching down and taking a bind with the top of the right foot, turning the head to look towards the left if that's available. Using your breath to meet the sensation rising in the body. Just two more full breaths here. And then returning the head to center, gently releasing the legs, bringing the hips back towards the center. And then extending your legs long, letting the feet fall away from one another, arms away from the body, palms facing up. Just take your time. Use anything that you might need for your Savasana, making sure that you're warm. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Once again, deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just allowing the breath to settle back into its natural rhythm. So with each exhale, allowing the body to get a little bit heavier and a little bit softer. coming to complete rest for the next few minutes. Please feel free to stay resting here for as long as you need. Thank you for joining me for today's practice. I'll see you next time. Namaste.